Just like some people don't like to draw hands or feet, I don't really like to make gloves or shoes. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certainly some exceptions, but I feel that in general, you're either a leather crafter or a cobbler. So if you're able to do both, more power to you. But if you want to get really good at making shoes, you just make shoes. So that brings me to Viking Leathercraft, who, when I was going through my emails over the years, trying to figure out how long I've been using these shoes, it came upon a date in 2012. That's quite a while to be using these shoes, and I feel like that puts me in a good spot to finally do a review of them. Though Viking Leathercraft carries a few different kinds of shoes, I really want to focus on their 3-toggle Viking Jorvik boot. The Jorvik boot, often called the York Viking boot, is based on a Coppergate find at York, and it's around the 10th to 11th century. Viking Leathercraft was thinking about the fighter reenactor in mind when they made these boots, so they have a reinforced heel, extra thick sole, as well as an option for either a Vibram sole or the lugged sole, which is what I always use on mine. The sole of this shoe is welted to the upper, nailed to the upper. The Vibram or lugged sole is then glued onto that if that's something that you're looking for. As you can see, it's got our 2 toggles here. Really easy. Bring those over. And this can be tightened and tied. We also have this woven piece of leather that goes all the way around through the back, doubles out. It goes around again and ties here. And it's mounted to our 3rd toggle. So these shoes come in natural, dark brown, and black. And I've always just gotten the natural and then dyed them because they were quite easily dyed. Now, I recently got the dark brown, and it just is a heavier leather, and it doesn't form to my foot as nicely. I think it won't stretch out as quickly as the natural do, but I do like that the natural stretch and form to your foot. There are a few reasons that I love these shoes. First of all, right out of the gate, the aesthetic is really awesome, which, if anybody knows me, I am a bit of a diva at times, perhaps. On top of that, the ability to put on a lugged sole is amazing, because you never know where you're going to be fighting, whether it's grass, concrete, basketball court, who knows. The lugged sole will do it all for you, which is really nice. And then lastly, I like to move my feet a lot. I like a little dance moves, if you know what I'm saying. So I like a light shoe where I can move my feet and not feel weighed down by something like a boot or a boot. Now, these shoes run true to US sizes, but since I'm a 12.5 and they don't have a 12.5, I've always ordered a 12. So if you have to go a little smaller, don't worry about it. They stretch. Specifically, these ones stretch really well. And yeah, I've ordered many pairs of them. Really the only thing that ends up happening to these shoes is they just get a little too stretchy over time, and I have to replace them. Depending on if you have the Vibram or the lugged sole, or just go with the leather welted sole, it's going to be a more flexible boot. You may want to put some kind of insole in there. Well, you're going to want to put an insole in there anyways, but you may want more support in the bottom of your shoe. What do I have in here right now? I have a simple Dr. Scholl's with a firm heel. Nothing crazy though. If we're looking at the dark brown, everything's a little thicker. If it was up to me right away, all this thonging would be thinner. I might actually pull it and skive it down, just because the difference in the thickness is actually very noticeable for me. You're looking at 6.5 versus 5.5. It's not as much as I thought. The natural is definitely more supple when it came, and I was able to dye it. And this dark brown is not very stiff. It's still soft, but it's just not like this. This is very soft, which I like, but also means that this is probably going to wear down as far as being stretched out a lot sooner. I think I went through 4 pairs of these so far in 13 years. So this would be my 5th pair. Don't get me wrong, if this was the only one I ever used, it would be fine. But I just really like this because it forms to my foot really nicely, and I was able to dye it whatever color I want to dye it. So I'm going to wear this as my just walk around shoe until it breaks in enough that it'll become my fighting shoe. They are pretty new still too. But we've got this. Well, there you go, everybody. A review 13 years in the making. If you're looking for light, period shoes with a modern sole so you can fight in them, VikingLeathercraft.com has you covered. Link in the description down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future content. And until next time, keep on being creative in whatever it is you do.